Ikenna Alozzi plans a visit to Kentucky. Will it be a direct matchup with Louisville? Can Kentucky influence him better with the NIL system? Have more advantages? But to what extent would that be good? Be sure to watch the video until the end and subscribe to the channel. The recruitment of Ikenna Alozzi, one of the biggest names in the 2026 class, is shaping up to be one of the most strategic and iconic battles in college basketball in recent years. With Kentucky and Louisville in the running, as well as other giants like Kansas, Gonzaga, and Houston, the fight for the five-star point guard is not only about talent on the court, but also about how the NIL system can be decisive in the final decision. And in this scenario, Kentucky seems to be in a very advantageous position. First, it's important to note that Kentucky has always had an unwavering reputation when it comes to attracting the best prospects in the country. Under Mark Pope, the program has sought to reinforce its proposition with a modern approach, combining tradition, coaching development, and off-court opportunities, including the possibilities created by the NIL. After all, playing at Kentucky means joining one of the most visible programs in college basketball, where every game is broadcast nationally and every move of the athletes is followed by millions of fans. This in itself already creates a perfect ecosystem to maximize the market value of a player like Alozzi. The point guard himself acknowledged this when mentioning the unique environment of Lexington and the passion of the fans. The environment and the arena are incredible. Obviously, they're known for their fans. It's very exciting, said Alozzi. This natural visibility provides an unparalleled platform for athletes who want to build their brand before they even reach the NBA. In the case of Alozzi, who is considered the best point guard in his class, joining a program like Kentucky could mean not only superior technical development, but also the chance to form lucrative partnerships with regional and national brands early in his college career. This is where the NIL comes in. While Alozzi has yet to officially visit Lexington, he is expected to be welcomed with a robust offer that goes beyond the basics offered by other schools. Kentucky has an extensive network of former NBA players and connections to major corporations, which could be an advantage when it comes to putting together competitive NIL packages. Additionally, Kentucky, while not as large a market as Texas or Florida, has an extremely loyal and passionate fan base, which could attract local sponsors interested in associating their brands with a rising star like Alozzi. On the other hand, Louisville is also in the game, and this local rivalry adds a special spice to the contest. Cardinals coach Pat Kelsey has worked hard to position Louisville as an attractive option, especially after the team's stellar season last year. Alozzi mentioned that he's been watching how Louisville manages its point guards, which suggests the program is trying to win him over with an approach focused on individual development. However, compared to Kentucky, Louisville faces significant challenges. The Wildcats' national profile is simply higher, and their track record of sending players directly to the NBA is unquestionable. For a player like Alozzi, who will likely be a lottery pick in the 2027 draft, that track record of success could outweigh any single NIL offer. But the NIL system isn't just positive. It also poses challenges that need to be balanced. On the one hand, it democratizes access to money, allowing players like Alozzi to capitalize on their image while still in college. On the other, it creates additional pressure for athletes to make decisions based on financial factors, which can distract from their athletic and academic development. Furthermore, there is a risk that smaller or less well-resourced universities will fall behind in the recruiting race, further widening the gap between elite programs and the rest. In the specific case of Kentucky and Louisville, the NIL can be both a boon and a hindrance. For Kentucky, the advantage lies in its already established infrastructure and its ability to attract sponsors who see value in associating their brands with a prestigious program. Louisville, on the other hand, needs to work hard to make up for this difference, betting on creative and personalized proposals to win Alozzi. However, given Kentucky's visibility and track record, it seems unlikely that Louisville will be able to outperform the Cats. But let's move on. See how the NIL issue influences basketball players? We talked about it the other day. I'm going to comment on this article involving Duke and Cooper Flagg. The dynamics of college basketball are undergoing an unprecedented transformation, and the NIL issue is the epicenter of this revolution. When we talk about a phenomenon like Cooper Flagg, whose career at Duke was marked by both brilliance on the court and the astronomical numbers generated off it, it's impossible not to reflect on the impact of this new scenario on the sport. After all, we are facing a new era in which players have more economic power in their hands than ever before, and this has profound implications for the game, universities, and even the future of the NBA. Flagg, at just 18 years old, not only led Duke to the Final Four, but also accumulated around $28 million in 2 NIL contracts, $13 million with New Balance, and $15 million with Fanatics. These numbers are enough to make any sports observer stop and think. This isn't just a talented young basketball player. We're talking about a player who, even before being selected in the NBA draft, has already achieved a level of financial wealth that few professional athletes achieve throughout their careers. And this reality raises fascinating questions. What does it mean to be a college player today? And how does this affect the balance between sports and the market? Flagg's case is emblematic because he is not limited to being an example of success on the court. He is the symbol of a generation of athletes who understand the importance of monetizing their image strategically. With such hefty contracts, it is almost inevitable to question whether these deals are one-offs or part of a long-term plan. While it is likely that these amounts are spread over multiple years, the very possibility that Flagg received all of this in a single year while at Duke is a reflection of the financial tsunami that NIL has brought to college basketball. 2. Put it in perspective, Duke University, even as a sports powerhouse, would have been hard-pressed to pay anything close to that outright. Reports suggest the university offered around $5 million to secure his services for a year. The rest came exclusively from the NIL ecosystem, which is completely redefining the relationship between athletes and institutions. And here's another intriguing point: Flagg's decision not to return to Duke for a second season. Many have speculated that he might return to college, but when you look at the numbers, it's clear that such an idea would be illogical. With a projected $62 million contract as the #1 pick in the 2025 draft and the certainty of more endorsement deals, once he enters the NBA, a return to Durham simply doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint. These kinds of calculations are now part and parcel of life for elite college players, who have to balance the desire to continue competing at the collegiate level with the lucrative opportunities that quickly arise in the professional world. Furthermore, Flagg's choice of an agency like CAA Basketball, known for representing stars like Devin Booker, Julius Randle, and Karl Anthony Towns, shows that he is surrounded by mentors who understand the value of building a lasting brand. Flagg isn't just thinking about his first NBA contract, he's planning his trajectory for the years ahead, establishing himself as a global figure in the sport. This goes beyond college basketball and highlights the crucial role that NIL plays in shaping athletes as entrepreneurs from an early age. But what about Kentucky basketball? As we follow cases like Flagg's, it's impossible not to wonder how the Mark Pope-led program might position itself in this new landscape. Kentucky has always been a dominant force in recruiting, attracting some of the best talent in the country year after year. However, with NIL in play, the competition has become even fiercer. Traditional programs like Duke, Kentucky, and North Carolina now face additional challenges in attracting top-tier players, especially when smaller universities, or even outside influencers, can offer irresistible NIL packages. Mark Pope, however, has shown skill in navigating this tricky terrain. His approach has focused on creating a culture of excellence that goes beyond money. He understands that while the NIL is a central factor in many players' decisions, there are other factors that matter, such as coaching development, media, exposure, and the chance to compete at a program with national prestige. Kentucky needs to bring in guys who want to be in the Cats, not just for the NIL system. I want to hear your thoughts.